Today we are discussing the interview questions and answers for AWS Certified SysOps Administrator Associate. You can download the complete list of AWS based questions from the link provided in the description. Our interview question based on SysOps Administrator Associate is: explain the difference between Amazon RDS and Amazon DynamoDB. Your answer should be Amazon RDS, that is Relational Database Service, is a managed relational database service that supports various database engines like MySQL, PostgreSQL, SQL Server, and Oracle. Amazon DynamoDB is a fully managed NoSQL database service that provides fast and predictable performance with seamless scalability. Our next interview question is: how do you handle backups and disaster recovery in AWS? Your answer should be backups in AWS can be handled using services like Amazon S3 for object storage, Amazon RDS for database backups, and AWS Backup for centralized management. Disaster recovery involves designing and implementing resilient architectures across multiple AWS regions, using services like AWS CloudFormation, AWS Disaster Recovery, and AWS Backup. Our next interview question is: what is AWS Lambda and how does it work? Your answer should be AWS Lambda is a serverless compute service that runs code in response to events and automatically scales to handle the load. You upload your code and Lambda takes care of provisioning and managing the infrastructure needed to run it. Our next interview question is: how do you ensure data security in AWS? Your answer should be data security in AWS involves implementing security best practices such as using IAM rules and policies to control access, encrypting data at rest and in transit using services like AWS Key Management Service KMS, implementing network security using AWS security groups and NACLs, and regularly auditing and monitoring AWS resources for security compliance. Our next interview question is: what is AWS Elastic Beanstalk and how does it work? Your answer should be AWS Elastic Beanstalk is a platform as a service PaaS offering that simplifies the deployment and management of applications on AWS. You upload your application code and Elastic Beanstalk handles the deployment, capacity, provisioning, load balancing, and auto scaling. Our next interview question is: how do you optimize costs in AWS? Your answer should be cost optimization in AWS involves right sizing instances, using reserved instances or saving plans for predictable workloads, leveraging spot instances for non critical workloads, implementing auto-scaling to match resource uses with demand, and using services like AWS Cost Explorer and AWS Budgets for monitoring and analyzing costs. Our next interview question is: explain the difference between Amazon S3 and Amazon EBS. Your answer should be Amazon S3, that is Simple Storage Service, is object storage designed for storing and retrieving large amounts of data, while Amazon EBS, Elastic Block Store, provides block level storage volumes for use with EC2 instances. S3 is suitable for storing objects such as files, images, and backups, while EBS is used for block-level storage attached to EC2 instances. If you are preparing for any AWS-based certifications, you can download the complete list of valid, tried and tested questions and answers from the link provided in the description below.